Hello and welcome to this Coffee Quip by Marketing Systems Group and RealEye. For those of you who do not know, Coffee Quips are our way of interacting with our customers and telling them the latest and greatest about Marketing Systems Group and some of our partners. This is the first time we've had a partner, in fact, on this series. Normally it's MSG and our employees, but we tried to make something different because we came across Adam and his team from RealEye at one of the conferences, and we got a bit friendly and chatty, and we found out that this is a really good solution that could complement ours. Nevertheless, even if it doesn't, it's a really good solution for our audiences to know and for our customers to find out more about. With that, I'll do a quick intro about Adam and Rick. Most of you may know Rick already and Adam, but I'll do a quick intro anyway. So Adam is the CEO and founder of RealEye, a company that does eye tracking and visual eye tracking. I don't want to be a show spoiler and tell you all of the things in advance. I'll let him explain more. And Adam has been with RealEye for about 7 years and has been instrumental in the growth of the company and sort of bringing innovative solutions to RealEye. Rick, a very popular man in the industry, has been with Marketing Systems Group for 10 years, has worked extensively with UX researchers and so on and so forth. His knowledge about ARCS and his knowledge about MSG is immense, and that's why I'll let him answer a lot of questions that come from Adam later. And with that, I hand it over to Rick to ask our esteemed guests some questions and reveal some answers from Adam. So over to you, Rick.
Murtuza, thank you for that amazing introduction. You are a gentleman and a dear friend. Adam, pleasure to see you again.
Nice to see you guys.
I guess we're going to get right to the meat of this. And what I would love for you to do is if you could tell me and our audience more about really what eye tracking is and how your clients are using it to conduct research.
Sure. So eye tracking is not a new thing, first of all. So eye tracking was out on the market for 20, 30 years. Therefore, it required hard preparation. So it required engaging with like a special infrared cameras this size, installing all the software, inviting people to the laboratory to run the tests. So it was always kind of like a niche within the research. Therefore, since basically the webcams, the cameras, and the smartphone cameras are in a better quality, there is a way easier way to capture these eye tracking data. Therefore, it's easier to embed the solutions in research. So it's mostly being used for capturing eye movements to see where people pay attention to for different markets, including shopper research, UX research, advertisements research, and so on.
Nice. I've heard of eye tracking, but I've never had the pleasure of using it. Can you tell us what is the main thing that separates you from traditional eye tracking solutions that we've heard about for many years, even if I haven't used them myself?
Sure. Well, the biggest differentiator is that we are using already existing devices in panelists' homes. So you can imagine, like on one, like the old way to do it is to invite, let's say that you wanted to have data from 100 people. You would need to invite 100 people into laboratory. That would last like 2-3 weeks to gather all the data and then analyze it. Therefore, using already existing devices and already like people who can participate in these eye tracking sessions remotely, you can have the results immediately within 1 hour or 2 using, obviously, one of the panel providers, hopefully served by a marketing system group. And that makes like that thanks to this solution, you can get the results way faster, way cheaper, and way more natural because you can feel the entire world. You don't need to feel just in the one central location. So I'd say that's the biggest differentiator. And that's why the attention measurements and eye tracking measurements are being more and more widely used these days.
All right, quick question. A lot of my customers are video gamers. So have you had any experience with video game players, whether it be on a PC or a mobile device?
Absolutely, yes. So we even had like a spin-off project that we were measuring how the attention was distributed over LOL, League of Legends game. So apparently it really matters how fast gamers, especially esports players, are looking at different parts of the monitor, whether they can look with the side vision to the map, how fast they can notice some additional things and so on. But to be honest, this is more of a part when we call like basically human research using eye tracking. So as mentioned, we are serving shopper research, UX research, advertisement research, but then there's the other branch mostly used by universities, academics, when they're just studying human behavior to perhaps detect some anomalies when it comes to eye movements that can be some symptoms of, I don't know, early depressions, ADHD, or early autism symptoms. So this was kind of the part of the research for these academics, how gamers are, let's say, reacting faster than normal regular human beings. So pretty
Fascinating.
interesting.
Nice. And is your solution used for, it seems like it would be more qualitative, or is it quant? How is it used today?
So actually it's being used in both ways. So you can record individual participant sessions with their screens, with their voiceovers, with their eye gazing something like an Amazon page or any other mockup or anything like that. Therefore, you can also aggregate the data from all of the captured recordings or just parts of captured recordings, so we can clean some segments. And then we're definitely stepping into quantitative research when you're just observing, let's say, out of 100 people, how many have noticed advertisement on the website, and how many haven't seen it. So that's probably also pretty important information about the human, let's say, blindness for some advertisements, banners, and so on.
Nice. Can you? I have one more question, if I may.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I know I like to ramble sometimes, but can you give us a good use case of something that really impacted your customers or users of your solution, and how they were able to benefit from using your technology?
From the commercial side, recently we had like a very nice technology collaboration with a company called Neurons, and that's like a public case study on our website to see it. We developed like a solution for testing placements of video advertisements, which is pretty neat because of course you can display advertisements in different places, but as mentioned, the blindness, what is really something important. On the other hand, when it comes to the academic sector, there were several research papers that were describing how eyes are moving differently with people who have some early depression symptoms. So for instance, how fast they're finding so-called happy face in crowd tasks, simple tasks with just interacting with the screen can tell you whether there's something happening in the brain and with the brain processing. This is extremely helpful. Therefore, I think there's a still long way to go when it comes to some medical usage. So this is mostly right now for just releasing some research papers, but using it at scale for medical reasons, that's totally different story, probably. We've never done that.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. I see a lot of uses for it, so very fascinating. Thank you.
Cool. Rick, can you tell me a bit more? I know we spoke briefly at the conference, but to be honest, I'm still curious and I'm still keen about the marketing systems group, and actually especially about the panel management platform, the ARCS. I even seen like a little icon on your desktop, Murtuza, when you were sharing your screen before. I'm keen to know a bit more about it.
Yeah, glad to fill you in. So Marketing Systems Group has been around for 35 years. And we started by providing what we call offline sample. In the old days, it was addresses of houses. When people were testing different products, we were able to use demographic information and tell them which households had the certain target audience that they were trying to do research with. From there, it expanded to phone numbers and addresses and emails and all kinds of lists that we provide to government, academia, market research agencies, and so forth. 25 years ago, we came out with a product called ARCS. It's a do-it-yourself, robust, enterprise-grade panel management platform that really brings efficiencies to companies that want to build and manage and engage with their own data set of research participants. So we started in the consumer packaged goods space. Then our next growth was research agencies, focus group facilities. In Europe, they call them viewing facilities. And then some clinical and medical research, which kind of ties into some of the things that you were mentioning. And lately, it's been a big user base of UX and design researchers that want to engage with the users of their products to be able to make them easier to use, a much better experience. So they use our ARCS to build a database that they can engage and invite to research studies.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like some of our customers, they are in the process of they were building their own panels, and I definitely know that they perhaps, I don't know whether they are struggling or not, but I know that they needed some software to fill in the gap, not to build anything from the scratch. Yeah. What are the challenges that ARCS face right now, or customers of ARCS face right now, and how does ARCS solve these challenges?
Yes, so the big one is really data protection, and I'm going to start there because that's the most important component, I'm going to say. No longer can companies use disparate tools like Excel or Google Sheets or some sort of database using a different survey or data collection tool, using another platform for communication or scheduling, using another tool to incentivize or keep track of participation history. So they really need a product that has visibility and controls on who can access what data. So in essence, a product that meets info security, risk management, and securities needs, protects the organization, and protects the data that your participants are giving you within the platform itself. So some of the easiest ones are, once we get past that hurdle where everybody's comfortable that the people that have opted in to participate in research, that they're safe, it's really about operational efficiencies in speed, in time, in cost, in inviting, qualifying, scheduling, reminding, and keeping track of participants for research studies. So we offer a couple unique differentiators. In that every one of our clients gets their own unique instance of our software, which means that they can brand it, they can pick the URL, they can pick the email that comes out of it, they can even integrate it with some of the other tools or data warehouses that they have today. And a topic that has come up lately is that who has access to our survey data from my participants? And what's nice is that data that's housed in everybody's unique instance belongs to our customers and only to our customers. So that data is not aggregated or monetized in any way, shape, or form as some of the other tools that are out there. So in reality, we provide a solution that is protected and is only for our customers to use for their own research needs.
I see. So even if it's like a dedicated instances for each customers with dedicated domain that it's just for them, hosted and upgraded by the software based by you supporting all the from the technology.
Correct. And to add a couple things, we are global. We support localization. So any language that's left to right, we could support. It does not do translation, but you could have any language. We also can stand up ARCS in whatever country you needed to. So to meet those GDPR laws, in the states here, CCPA, and more states are enacting laws. But really, it's a all-in-one research ops tool that brings efficiencies, a much better panelist experience. And talking about that, one other feature we have is what we call a panelist portal. And it's a place where panel members can log in. They can update their information in like a self-serve model. They can see what studies they can see if they qualify for. They can see any upcoming scheduled sessions. They can invite their friends to join. They can see answers and study history and incentive history, and they can redeem any incentives if you use our optional ARCS Pay module. So it really is a homepage within the platform that panel members can engage with your organization.
And does the panelists engage within different instances as well, or it's rather like an umbrella that a panelist is kind of like tied to to single company that is hiring this particular panelist for this
I would
region, or-
imagine. I mean, typically, I'd say it's tied to that one instance. That data is never shared with anybody else. But I would think that there are some professional respondents, whether they're retirees or people that want to participate in more and more research studies, are in several of our customers' database. Not shared, but that is signed up independently, if that makes sense.
Mhm. Cool. And can you talk us through a case to kind of like illustrate how customers are using ARCS for the qualitative research, for instance?
Yeah, I mean, I could talk forever about the benefits, but one that actually came to light last week that I'd love to share is we have a relatively new customer. They've been with us for 7 or 8 months now. And in the past, it would take them 3 to 4 weeks to field a study where they're bringing in between 200 and 300 people on site to do this particular product testing. With ARCS, they were able to invite, qualify, schedule, remind those same 250 people in less than a week. So you can imagine the time and cost savings that they can complete these studies quicker, and also they could take on more work with the same or less headcount than what they were using in the past.
Yeah, correlate when it comes to the online solutions, then definitely that's a huge gain for.
And if I can just throw out one other one, just because it's also kind of cool. One of our big video game customers integrates with their backend system. So it's called SSO, single sign-on. So the player has to have an account with this company. They use the same username and password to log into ARCS to participate. If they ask them how long or how many hours a day they play that game, they have the ability to check telemetry data. So if I say I play that game for 4 hours a day, and they could ping telemetry and say, Rick hasn't played that game in 3 months, they know not to use me in that study. So it adds another level of validation and authentication, because a lot of times research participants will answer a question how they think they're going to qualify, and that doesn't necessarily mirror their behavior. So we give certain customers the ability, with the customization, the ability to tie in external data sources with response data, as well as some of participation history, incentive history, things of that nature, so that they can make sure to invite and schedule the right individuals for that research study.
Interesting. Nice. Thanks.
So.
Yeah, so while Rick was saying that, I was trying to log into one of our panelist portals that's enabled by ARCS, but unfortunately I didn't have the full account credentials on this PC. So anyway, so I think I hope you all found this conversation interesting, Adam and Rick, and I'm so hoping that our audiences would find that interesting as well. We look forward to sort of forging this partnership even further in terms of the joint go-to-market, or even sort of making sure we are able to help each other's customers out with some of the scenarios in the sense that if we've got like a customer that wants to do eye tracking, we could bring you in. And if you've got a customer that really wants to do eye tracking but needs a panel, you could bring us in. And we look forward to seeing you at more conferences in the future, Adam.
Likewise. Thanks.